Have you ever wanted to drive a Metro 6R4 Group B rally car? Well, be careful what you wish for, because this thing will deafen you till your ears bleed, it will shake the fillings from your head, and it will gas you with fumes that will leave you choking with streaming eyes and semi-conscious. And while it distracts you with those three misbehaviours, it will actively try to kill you with its lethal and unpredictable handling. And how do I know? Because this is my 6R4, and I've had it for a lot of years, and we've had a lot of fun, but it has still actively tried to kill me while drinking my wallet dry. Now suppose I could show you a car that was as much fun to drive as this when this is on song and having a good day, without the drawbacks. Now I wouldn't have thought such a unicorn of a thing existed. I mean, it would have to be hundreds of horsepower and incredibly fast and agile and pull itself around in its four-wheel drive system while making glorious noises and making the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Not driven anything like this until a couple of weeks ago when I was presented with just such a unicorn. And this is the story. Something a bit different today. I've got a bit of a car review for you. Don't worry, I'm not going all Top Gear. It's just that by happy circumstance I found a really interesting, nerdy and Iraqi thing which I'm sure you'll enjoy. Through the week I drive a Grand Tourer, a lovely, luxurious, it's quiet, it's smooth, it's powerful if I wanted to be. But normally I just waft around at 30 miles an hour, cocooned with Spotify for company, and it's lovely. And on the weekend I hoon around in Group B rally cars. So my car experience is very much one of extremes, which means anything in the middle is just a car, really. And I've driven everything you can think of. And it's a long, long time since any modern car made any impression or impressed me. So anyway, I took my car to the dealers. Well, I took me to the dealers as some paperwork, and my car has fancy matte paint on it. And they went, "Ooh, we've got a new cleaning product. We'd like to try it on your car. Would you mind awfully?" And I thought, well, you can wash my car all you want. So I handed it over and they gave me a snack and a cappuccino and Sky News, and off they went. So I'm sat in the dealership, quite happy, and they came back about 20 minutes later and went, it's not quite done what it said on the tin. It's gone a bit streaky. Would you mind if we carried on till we worked out how to do it? And I said, well, yeah, but I've got to go. So they said, well, we'll give you a car. Knowing I'm laid back about such things, yeah, all right, I'll have a car. So they gave me a Mercedes GLC. Now the wife's got one of those, so I knew where I was with that. And it's smooth, it's comfy, it's quiet. I mean, it's full of things I hate. It has too many doors. And I ask you this, how many doors does your house have? I mean, it has not 4. And it's full of pointless gadgetry. The steering fights you, it bings when it spots a speed limit sign for somewhere you've no intention of going. But it's, like I say, it's a nice mode of transport. It'll go to the shops for a bottle of wine. Well, you've got to drive it there. And it's nice. I thought, right, I'll have one of them. So I got in it, and I set off in a world of my own, as usual. And I thought, this isn't as smooth as the wife's. This isn't as quiet. It's a bit loud in here, and it shakes and rattles a bit, and it seemed to be a bit sluggish at times. And I thought, what's this? So thinking I got the kind of simple model, when I got home, I had a look to see what I had. And at that point, I realised I didn't have the simple model at all. I had something quite special, and it's a C43. So I thought, well, what exactly is it trying to be? So I looked it up and I had a bit of a read, and it turns out that what I've got here, briefly, because I've got to give it back in about half an hour, has a chunk of Formula 1 stuff on it. The engine was made at Brixworth, where they do the Formula 1 engines, and it's a 4-cylinder 2-litre, but it has an electrified turbo. Now you would think this would lull people into thinking it was some sort of Greta Thunberg Save the Planet battery somewhere, little piss-pottical engine to charge it up. But it's nothing of the sort. On this car is the distant cousin of the MGUH from the Formula 1 cars. Now, you know how a turbocharger, you have a turbine and a compressor, and they're inextricably linked on one shaft, and when that goes fast, this has to go with it. So you put your foot down, you put some fuel in, you make hot gas, you spin this end up, it takes that end with it, this pushes gas into the engine, la 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 la. The MGUH, motor generator unit heat, is, imagine your turbo cut down the middle. The compressor is driven by an electric motor, so you get instant boost, and the turbine drives a generator to top off the battery to make sure you got power to run your turbo plus whatever else you want to do with your F1 car. Well, this car has an electrically powered turbo, which I'll show you. And this is where the magic happens. It's a turbo, Jim, but not as we know it. It's got an electrically powered wastegate, which I've never seen before. There's a lot of plumbing going to and fro, which I'm not sure how much of that's turbo related and how much isn't. It does have a normal turbine on the back and a cap the size of a dustbin. And down there where you just cannot see it, but under here is the electrical gubbins that drives the turbo to get rid of your lag. And it blows through a compressor down there to the front of the engine. And it also has, so far as I can tell, twin stage charge cooling. Now you've seen on the RS200 where you have that huge air-to-air intercooler, and then you've got the problem that the turbo is pretty close to the exhaust, which means it's miles away from the inlet, and then the compressor has to fill that great big volume up with air before it can do anything, and that air has to be cooled and made more dense, because the more dense it is, the more oxygen it has, therefore the more fuel you can put in it and get a bigger fire. And its volume is enormous, so the time it takes from putting your foot down to getting any result is quite extravagant. This has charge coolers. Now charge coolers cool the air just the same, but they do it with liquid, so they're tiny, and you can put them in places where they don't need airflow. And this has got two of them. Have a look at these things. And on this side is the first stage of the charge cooling, and that's the second stage of the charge cooling. And then it blows its air up here and into the engine. And this engine has Formula One heritage. It's quite an amazing lump. 2 litre straight 4, 400 plus horsepower in a production car. Not bad, AMG. Now you've got this very light car, 450 horsepower, instant turbo response, but to drive it on the road normally you don't get the benefit of any of this. You have to set it up and put it in turbo nutter maniac mode, and then things really start to happen. So what happens is when you press the button to give it a start. There we go. And I make some pretty glorious noises out the back. And then down here you have 2 little eyeballs. Now that one, that's in comfort mode, that's what C stands for. And then it goes to driving in ice mode. That one's sport, and that one is turbo nutter. And it tells you over here. It shows a ridiculous picture, but it also clicks through all the settings using the little eyeball. And the other eyeball, this one down here, you can play with the suspension on that one, and that does things to your suspension. So yeah, what gets me is it also shows you how fast and powerful it is using the medium of coal, right? It's got fire, but it's not efficient blue fire of beautiful combustion. It's orange coal, such as your granny had on a fire. Remember that? I mean, that's what that is. It makes some lovely crackly noises, mate. Crackle, crackle. So I took it away out of the way of humanity, and had a little play. Right. Okay. Dum-de-dum, little road going harmless. What is it? JLC. La, 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 and then you put it in fast mode and it becomes a mentalist. It's a riot, it's mad. It thinks it's a 6R4. Woohoo! Driving a Group B rally car without the terrible expense of buying one, get one of these, because that's what it's like. It's barking mad. So there you have it. It is absolutely, utterly nuts. And I've driven a lot of fast cars, driven all sorts of fast cars, and they're always on low profile tyres and they're always beautifully set up and they go fast. This is very different. It's quite tall, it's quite compliant. You can put a wheel in the ditch and the 4-wheel drive system will scrabble and pull and haul you back out again around a corner, and it rolls a bit, and this is as close as you're ever going to get to a Group B rally car. This feels honestly like a 6R4. It really does feel like driving a 6R4. If you want the 6R4 experience, go to your local Merc dealers, tell them this is what your heart desires, and then you test drive it, put it in turbo nutter mode and have a go. That's a 6R4. And the other thing is, This car makes me glad all over, not because of what it is or what it does, but because Mercedes-Benz, at the Formula One place at Advanced Powertrains at Brixworth, have developed a monster road car engine that burns proper petrol, that makes incredible noises and makes your soul tingle. And that, instead of this electrical nonsense, would appear to be the future. I certainly hope so. And on that pile of anal anarchy nonsense, it's back to the studio.